Good morning, students. Today, the topic which we are going to discuss teaching methods. You will able to understand observation method. What do you mean by observation method? What are the advantages and the disadvantages of that method? Source method. What do you mean by a source method? Discovery method. Its advantages, meaning, concept. Survey method. Its concept, meaning, advantages, disadvantages, merits, the pros and cons of organizing these type of methods. Now, the first we will discuss about the observation method. Psychologists have observed that children possesses a distinct instinct of curiosity and are curious to see the things for themselves and particularly those things which exist around them. Means they have the instincts of curiosity to know what is there and are curious to see things for themselves. And they are curious to know those things which are particularly around them. The geographers exploited this fact to their advantage. A thing observed and a fact discovered by the child for itself through its efforts become a part of the mental life of the child. This is of great value in the child's learning. And it's play an important role in the learning of a child. The observation method is described as a method to observe. Here, the person will observe and describe the behavior of a subject, and after observing that particular thing, he will describe is the particular behavior of that particular subject. As the name suggests, that it's an observation method. It is a way of collecting relevant information and data by observing. In the observation method, we have to collect the relevant information, the correct information, and data by observing a particular phenomena, a particular situation, or a thing. Observation method is used in cases, it can be used in different cases, where you want to avoid an error, and the observation method will be used where, as an observer, you don't want to have an error. That can be result of a bias, means you should not be biased, you should be objective. During evaluation and interpretation process. During the evaluation and interpretation process, it is a way to obtain objective data. Means through the observation, you will able to get an objective data. Means you cannot get an subjective data. By watching a participant and recording it for analysis at a later stage. Means when you are using the observation method, you will observe what the participants are doing and recording their particular behavior. And after the recording, analysis of their behavior will be done at a later stage. The main aspects of the observation method are observe, record, and interpret. Means you have to observe what is going on, what the participants are doing, then what is their particular behavior at that particular situation. Second, you have to record each and everything, and on the basis of the record that you have collected the information, the data that had been collected by you, you will interpret that particular data or information. The technique of obtaining geographical information by direct observation is the basis for the study of this subject. Now, the observation method for teaching may be used inside the classroom as well as outside the classroom. Means this teaching technique or method can be used by the teacher to teaching the students, and it can be used inside as well as outside the classroom. Inside the classroom observation, globe is a useful aid. It's a very useful aid. By observation of the globe, Children can develop such concepts as longitude, latitude, meridian, etc. Charts, charts prepared by children themselves, are those commercially produced also enhance the children's observation. Charts that have been prepared by the children will definitely improve the children's observation. Models, children observe things, they will observe different things, and they can convert the results of their observations into models, and they can convert the results of their observation of anything that they have been observed into models. Outside the classroom observation, the teacher can enrich children's observation, develop children observation by adopting certain modes outside the classroom. The teacher can use the certain modes outside the classroom. Outside the classrooms, there are fields. The teacher can organize the field trips, crops, soil, etc., which also form part of geographical content. On the spot observation of these entities followed by discussion means the teacher can take the students to a field trip, and after the observation of those things during the field trip they can uh, have a discussion after that. In the class enriches children knowledge of geographical facts, and it will enrich children's knowledge of different facts. A teacher of geography would like to make children study the surrounding environment, the landscape, and what it offers to man to make his living meaningful. Following methods also help in learning. Field trips. Field trips help in exploring the nearby environment of the learners. Children may be taken out into the larger landscape to observe geographical objects, prepare brief notes, and collect specimens, and so on. Excursions. Excursions educate as well as entertain. Means it will able to able to achieve the two objectives. It's not only educate the children but also entertain them. Children learn by interacting with the environment. They learn by interacting with the environment. Excursion to hill stations means it can be taken to the hill stations, to geographical monuments, help children to understand certain phenomena. And with the help of that, they will able to understand certain phenomena. Now, merits of observation method. Train the pupil to observe. You have to train the people to observe a particular phenomenon and reason about the fact they observe. This method brings the students of geography into a direct relationship with the environment. By employing this method, you can able to bring the students to a direct relationship with the environment. By this method, we interpret the unknown in terms of the known by observation and experience. It is essentially outdoor work. Nothing should be allowed to take the place of direct observation whenever this is possible. So, this is a direct method of gaining geographical knowledge. The merit of this method lies in the work than in the results. It is training in intelligent observation and not in merely collecting the data. Means it will train the students to intelligently observe something, and it's not merely that you have to collect the data related to that particular observation. This method develop the habit of accurate thoughts and investigation. Means the observation method will help the students to develop the habit of accurate thoughts and investigation. It is based on the finding of psychology that there is an instinct of curiosity to know something, to be curious to know what is going on in the environment in every human being, which promotes every human being to know. Now, limitations of observation method. The observation study make a big deal demand on the out of the class time of teachers and the students. Now, what is that? That when we are talking about the observation method, when the teacher uses the observation method to study or to make the students learn a particular concept, that method demand a, from the teachers to take the class out of the class, which the timetable of the school does not permit in Indian schools. Means they have to take the class outside, and that is not permissible or permitted in many Indian schools. And the timetable of the schools does not permit the teachers to take the students to the field trips. This method is suitable for lower classes as the observation made by young children are necessarily limited. This method can be used or to teach the students of lower classes. Sometimes the observation study may degenerate into aimlessly wandering. Means you will not able to fulfill your aim, and it's sometimes degenerated into aimless wondering what you are observing, why you are observing, wastage of much time and energy because of lack of understanding and direct action from the teacher, and it's sometimes considered as the wastage of time and energy. To let the children observe things without proper guidance and the knowledge may not be profitable at all. Means we have to guide the students properly if we want that something should be observed and that particular aim should be achieved. There must be a proper guidance, and the knowledge gained by observation must be supplemented through methods. Ex- Actual observation of the child is always limited. Now, the second method that we are going to discuss is the source method. Source method skillful teacher of geography have always realized the educational importance of first-hand experiences. Means the knowledge which the learner will get from the first-hand experiences, means those things which they will observe, they will have the first-hand experiences, because first-hand experiences are always more profitable than experiences narrated or discussed by others. Means the first hand experiences, the knowledge that they will gain by themselves, and that knowledge that they will get by themselves are more profitable and than experiences narrated by other people or discussed by other people. Source method is that method of teaching, means it's that particular method of teaching in which original sources of information are used to explain a point or variety of fact. Means the original sources of information are uses to explain a point, a particular point, or variety of fact, or establish a principle to describe an event, and uh, to establish a principle so that we can describe a particular event. This method involves activity on the part of the teachers as well as the people. Means both teacher and students are actively involved. Source method can be used in the beginning of the lesson. Means the teacher can use this method when he is going to introduce that particular lesson, when he is going to start that particular lesson, to motivate the people so that people will be motivated to learn that particular concept. While teaching the topic Mughal Empire, he may show them the pictures of Red Fort, Taj Mahal, or Jama Masjid. This method can be used during the course of the lesson, and it's not that source method will be used can be used by the teacher at the beginning of the lesson only. No, this method can be used during the course of the lessons also to develop it so that it can be developed in a proper manner and correlates the facts, and we will able to correlate the facts, events or principle involved in the lesson. Source method is an activity oriented method. When we are talking about the source method, it is an activity oriented method. It is generally used in social studies subjects also. Means the source method will be used generally most by the teachers who are teaching social studies to the students. Generally, source means a person, book, or document, or picture, or actual objects that can provide information for learning. It can be a book, it can be a person, it can be a document, it can be a picture, or actual object that can provide informations to the learners for their learning. It is a learning directly from the actual source. For example, for social studies, they can be a contract with the bank or studying the sample of stone collected from the moon or an app object found from any ancient place can also be studied. Now, types of source method. There are three types of sources in this method: material resources, ideas, machines, weapons, etc. Original source resources: song, folk stories, tradition, customs, etc. Third, written and printed resources: records, reports, letters, etc. Step followed to use source method. Demonstration or presentation by the teacher. The teacher has to demonstrate or present the resources. Locate related regarding material and assign reading to the students. Problem solving by students. They will make or to find out the solutions of the problem. They make efforts with group discussions among the students, and they will able to solve the problems by having a group discussion, and the group discussion will be held among the students themselves. Now the merits: it develop a sense of vividness and reality. Means the source method will develop among the students a sense of vividness and reality. It can satisfy the curiosity among children on the questions. Means with the help of the source method, the teacher can satisfy the curiosity among children on the questions that has been raised in their minds. The original source serve as an effective means for creating a right type of atmosphere. The original source will serve as an effective means or an effective base for creating a right type of environment for the learners. The use of source provide certain useful mental exercises. The uses of sources by the teachers, it will provide certain useful mental exercises to the learner. The method initiates the pupil in research. They will initiate the pupil for doing research in that particular subject or in different subjects. It supplement classroom lessons. The source method will supplement the classroom lessons. It promote the interest in the study of the subject. Now, will promote the interest of the learners in the subject which they are going to study. It initiates the students in social studies research. Means it will motivate the students to have research in the subjects of social studies. Now, the demerits of source method. The method is too complex and technical. We are saying that this is the demerit of the source method, and the first is that it's too complex. Means it's not a simple method of teaching the students, and it's a very technical method to teach the students. It is not always possible for the teacher or school to have easy access to the sources. And the second demerit or the limitation of the source method is that it's not always possible for the teacher to have easy access to the sources. Use of sources is not easy for the teachers and they are not trained in their use. Now, use of sources is not easy for the teachers, means the teachers will find difficulty to use those sources. And the teachers are not trained in using these sources. The source method of teaching social studies is time consuming. And if the teacher wants to teach the students with the help of the source method, it is very time consuming for the teachers to teach a particular topic with this particular method. The source method of teaching social studies is very expensive. Now, if the teacher is going to use the source method to teach the students the subject of social studies, it's become very expensive for the teacher for using the source method to teach their students. Now, the next one is the discovery method. The discovery method is popular in the teaching and learning of science subjects. Means discovery method will more popular where the teachers are teaching the students the subject of science. Historically, it was first used for teaching and learning of science. Means the discovery method was first used by the teachers for teaching and learning of science. Means it was used by the science teachers to teach the students of science. Subject by the name heuristic method introduced by H. E. Armstrong, a professor of chemistry in London. Means this method was introduced by H. E. Armstrong, who is the professor of chemistry in London. Later on, when this method was found to be suitable for the teaching of some other subjects of the school, including social sciences, and afterwards, this method, the discovery method, was also found to be suitable for the teaching of different subjects other than science, and these teaching subjects include social sciences. It was included in the teaching of social sciences, and after that, when we found that this method is not only suitable to teach the science only, when we find out that this method can also be used by the teacher to teach the social science subjects, it was included in the teaching of social sciences. As the name reveals, discovery method emphasizes engaging learners in knowing about the facts. Means the discovery methods gives importance or emphasis engaging learners in knowing about the facts and the solutions of their problem, about the various facts and the solutions that can be employed by them to solve a particular problem with their independent efforts, where they have their independent efforts to get the solution of the problem and for knowing the facts instead of being told about them. Means by their teachers, the teacher will not uh, tell them that these can be the possible solutions and these can be the facts that can be used by you. With their independent efforts instead of being told about them by the teacher or getting them known through the facts given in the prescribed textbooks or getting them known through the facts that has been presented or prescribed in the particular textbook. Professor Armstrong has defined it as follow. Means the Professor Armstrong has defined this particular method in its own way. And he says, heuristic or discovery method is that method of teaching. And he's saying that discovery method is that method or way of teaching in which we try to place, means in the discovery method, we try to place the students as far as possible in the attitude of a discovery. As far as possible, we want to develop the attitude of our students to discover. In other words, it is the method in which emphasis, means importance, is laid on the discovering things, in which you have to discover things instead of merely telling about them. Means it's a method in which the students are independent and they are independently discovering certain things, and they has will not be told about those facts and things by the teacher. Adopting the discovery method as the method of teaching, when we have start using the discovery method as the method of teaching, social science does not pour the information and knowledge into the head of the students directly through lecturing, narration, or exposition, or any other means. It's not at that particular means only through which the information or knowledge can be poured into the heads of the student, but inspire them to gather information and knowledge about the facts. But we are inspiring, we are motivating the students to gather information, that so that they can gather certain information and knowledge about the facts, concepts, and principles of the subject through their independent efforts. Means they are not dependent on others to get the knowledge and information about the facts, concepts, and principles related to a particular subject. The topic or problem for such investigation or discovery on their part is either suggested by the teacher, that they have to investigate on that particular thing. That topic will be suggested by the teacher, that you can do your discovery or investigation related to that particular topic, or they choose a particular topic, or you can give them the freedom that you can select a particular or specific topic or problem for your discovery or investigation. Discovery method steps. The discovery method has the following steps: a clear understanding of the subject and purpose of discovery. Means you should have a clear understanding of the subject and purpose of discovery. What is the aim or discovery? Collection of relevant information or data, and you have to collect relevant, accurate information or data related to that particular problem. Analysis of the collected information or data. After the collection of the relevant data will be made, you have to analyze that collected information or data. Formulation of probable hypothesis. After the collection of the data has been done, you have to formulate the hypothesis related to that particular problem. Testing of the formulated hypothesis. After that, you have to test whether the hypothesis has been accepted or rejected. Establishment of a conclusion. On the basis of the results of the hypothesis, you have to establish a conclusion. A conclusion should be there. Now, merits of discovery method. It helps students in development of an attitude of investigation. It will develop among the students an attitude of investigation, an attitude of research. In this method, attempts are made for persuading the students to find out the facts. We will encourage the students to find out the facts related to that particular topic, concepts to establish a concept, and principle by themselves. We are encouraging, motivating the students to find out the facts, concepts, and principles by themselves with their independent efforts. Means they are not dependent on their teachers to get the concept. They do to find out the facts. They will do that study by themselves, or their independent efforts should be there. It helps the students become active. The students are actively involved in the teaching learning process and independent inquiries or discoveries of knowledge. Or they are not dependent, they are independent to get the knowledge, inquiries, or the discoveries related to that topic. Students are the center of the teaching learning process. That is, in place of the teachers, students are the center at the teaching learning process as they are actively involved in the teaching learning process. It helps in the development of habits, means the discovery method helps in the development of habits and virtues among students, like self dependence, they are self dependent, self confident, they are self confident, self study, they will do their study, self persistent, etc. It helps in the proper mental development of the student. With the help of the discovery method, that discovery method will help the students for their proper development. Means proper mental development is possible when the teacher is using the discovery method to teach the students. Now, the next method or the technique which we are going to discuss is survey method. Survey method is an important method of teaching political science. Means this method is used mainly by the teachers of political science to teach their students. It is a technique of discovery. Means survey method is a technique of discovery where you have to find out something, you have to discover something. It is a useful method to study local events or issues. Means survey method can be the best method or a useful method to study local events or issues. It tries to explain, means the survey method tries to explain and interpret existing things in the form of conditions. What is the existing things in that particular form of condition? Habits, process, trends, effects, etc. It analyzes the present social, economic, and political conditions. It will analyze the present, the current social, economic, and political conditions. It explains the facts. With the help of the survey method, we will have to explain the facts. Means the survey method helps to explain the facts. It is an organized attempt of analyzing. Means you will uh, analyze that particular situation. Interpreting on the basis of the analysis, interpretation will be done. And reporting about the present place and the report about the present place, social institutions, groups, or territories. It answers the questions of which factors have contributed actually to the present situation. And the survey method helps to give the answers to the questions of which factors have contributed actually to the present situation. A good survey poses a definite problem. A definite problem should be there on which the survey has to be done. And definite aim. A definite aim, goal should always be there. It includes planning. A foolproof planning should be there. Careful analysis means after the planning, a careful analysis and interpretation has to be done after the collection of the data has been made, and logical and skillful reporting of data collected, and the logical and skillful reporting of the data that has been collected. It is a scientific way to study important social problem. Means survey method is a scientific way to study important social problems. In this method, students are encouraged, means students are motivated to discover and survey things and thereby acquire knowledge. To discover things and survey things and thereby after the survey they will acquire knowledge related to that particular topic. The students are encouraged to survey the local conditions and environment. Means the students are motivated to survey the local conditions, situations, and the environment. Students suggest get themselves acquainted with the things after having completed the process of observation. Means get themselves acquainted will have the knowledge with the things after having completed the process of observation, means they will have the knowledge after they have completed the process of observation. Collection, the collections of the basis of data that had been collected, and classification, and the classification of data will be based on the basis of the characteristics and reporting of findings and what findings that they have got. Now, steps of survey method. Selection of a problem. The first step in the survey method is that you have to select a problem on which you have to do your survey. The problem should be formulated, means you have to formulate a particular problem related to the survey. Define, you have to define it properly and delimit that these will be the particular delimitations of conducting the survey. It should be a suitable one, means a survey can be done on that particular topic. Preparation of plan. The second will be after the selection of the problem. You have to prepare a plan how the survey would be done. What will be the objectives and how you will able to achieve them. The plan should ensure that scientific and objective outcomes should be yielded. That after the survey will be completed, scientific and objective outcomes should be yielded. Preparation of tools, means the tools for which you will able to collect the data. You have to prepare those particular tools on the way. With the help of those tools you will able to collect the data. Suitable tools are to be selected and the selection of the tool should be based on the problems that you have selected for your survey and the aims that you want to achieve. Questionnaire, checklist, etc. These are the different tools, and you can select one of the tool. uh, Data collection, it involves collecting data, going to the field. Then data collection, with the help of the tools you will collect the data, and it's involved that you are going to the field and will collect the data. Data interpretation and recording. After the data has been collected, you have to interpret that, means you have to make an analysis uh, of the data on the basis of the data that has been collected, and recording should be made by you. Now, advantages of survey method. Students develop a direct relationship with the natural and social environment, that the students will able to establish a direct relationship with the nature and the social environment. They get the first hand experiences, means they will get the first hand knowledge when they will go in the field and collect the data. It makes them lively and thoughtful. They are not passively involved in the learning process. Teaching topics will become educative. Learning will be interested for the learners, vital and effective. It stimulates the growth of people personality, and people personality will be at the growth. It develops the ability to distinguish between truth and false facts from propaganda. Means the survey will help you to distinguish between what is truth, what is false, what is facts, and what is propaganda. It's provide an opportunity for creative activities. Survey methods give an opportunity for creative activities. It is based on the principle of learning by doing, where you are learn by doing your things. Learning by seeing, means after seeing those things, you will able to learn. The students get enthusiasm and encouragement in surveys work. It socializes the people. It develops in social quality, social skills, and social values among the learners. It develops a scientific outlook. and a tendency of discovery in people. Now, disadvantages of survey method. It is a time-consuming process. Means uh, you have to spend a lot of time. The duration of the school timetable is short, and the duration of the school timetable is very short, and the survey methods require a lot of time. It would burden the younger students since they are grown up physically and mentally. Its success is dependent on the ability and skill of the teacher as well as the pupil devotion to work. Means survey method will only be successful when the teacher are able and skilled to do the survey and the people or the students are devoted to their work. So students, today we have discussed the different teaching methods. We have discussed about the survey, the source method, discovery method. For further reading on this particular topic, you can refer these references. Now let us discuss some MCQs, as MCQs are the best tools to know the learning outcomes of the learner. The first one is the main aspect of the observation method are. Now the options are A. Observe, B. Record, C. Interpret, or D. All the above. So these are the options, students. Now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be option D. That is all the above. Question 2. The dash is described as a method to observe and describe the behavior of a subject. Means which method is being described as a method to observe, where you have to observe and describe the behavior of a subject. Now the options are A. Observation method, B. Source method, C. Survey, or it's D. Discovery method. So the correct answer is option A, that is observation method. For observation of dash, children can develop such concepts as longitude, latitude, median, etc. Now the options are A. Chart, B. Globe, C. Models, or it's D. Video. So these are the options, students. Now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be option B, that is globe. Now the fourth one, help dash help in exploring the environment. Now the options are charts, globe, see field trips, or its video. So the correct answer is option C, that is field trips. Now the fifth one, dash is that method of teaching in which original source of information are used to explain a point or variety, a fact, or establish the principle or describe an event. Now the options are A. Observation, B. Source, C. Survey, or it's D. Discovery method. So students, these are the choices, and now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer will be option B, that is source method. Now the sixth one, the discovery method introduced by Dash, a professor of chemistry in London. Now the options are H. E. Armstrong, B. Skinner, C. Johann, or D. N. H. Singh. So these are the options, students, and now the correct answer will be, yes, the correct answer will be option A, that is H. E. Armstrong has introduced the discovery method. The seventh one, the steps of discovery method has. Now the options are A, a clear understanding of the subject and purpose of discovery and collection of relevant information of data. B. Analysis of the collected information or data and formulation of potable probable hypothesis. C. Testing of the formulated hypothesis and establishment of conclusion, or it's D. All the above. So the correct answer will be option D, that is all the above. Now, the eighth one, students develop a direct relationship with the natural and social environment. They get the first hand experiences. It makes them lively and thoughtful. Which is that particular method? Now, the options are A. Observation method, B. Source method, C. Survey method, or it's D. Discovery method. So, the correct answer is option C, that is survey method. Now, who said that heuristic or discovery method is that method of teaching in which we try to place the student as far as possible in the attitude of a discover. In other words, it is the method in which emphasis is laid on the discovering things instead of merely telling about them. Now the options are A. H. E. Armstrong, B. Skinner, C. Johann, or H. D. and H. C. So the correct answer will be option A, that is H. E. Armstrong. Now the tenth one, it tries to explain and interpret existing things in the form of conditions, habits, process, trends, effects, etc. Now the options are A. Observation method, B. Source method, C. Survey method, or it's D. Discovery method. So students, these are the options. Now you have to select the correct answer on the basis of the given choices, and the correct answer is option C, that is survey method. So thank you students, with this particular narration you have understood the different teaching methods. First we have discussed about the observation method, why observation method is important, what is the concept, advantages and disadvantages of observation method. And then we have discussed the discovery method, advantages and disadvantages of that, the purpose of discovery method. Then we have discussed about the source method, and in the last we have discussed about the survey method. And these methods has been used by the teachers to teaching different subjects to make the learning of the students effective or permanent. Thank you students, thank you so much for your patience listening.